Our star hasn't fallen yet. We go again. I'll show you what happened since our incident last episode. So let's start with the league. Unsurprisingly, we're champions again by some margin now. We are impressively good. St. Gallen, Sion, decent. They're definitely one of the bigger teams now in Switzerland. Basel really dropping away. They've sacked their manager. I think they didn't even give him a year to get under the table. But yeah, the young boys, Basel are in trouble. Lugano are in big trouble. Their relegation would be a real surprise. But also something else has happened, which is kind of interesting. And it's this. I have entered the Hall of Fame. I am now the most successful Swiss manager, I believe. I don't know if this is the most successful manager in the Swiss league yet. Better than this Christian Gross guy. Better than any of the managers. David Wagner, look at that down there. Who would have thought that? Murat Yakin as well. Blimey. Yeah, we are comfortably dominating the league. But of course, it's not about the league. It's about the coefficients. I've got some news, which is we might have been bailed out a little bit here. If we go back to the league table and we look at Sion, and then we click on Sion, and then we go to their schedule, they are still in the Conference League. They are on one hell of a run. They're in the quarterfinals of the Conference League, and that has some interesting implications for our coefficient. But I mean, they've got Dynamo. You have to say, could they take them? I think they could. And then who's left? Lokomotiv Moscow, Eintracht Frankfurt, Cagliari. I mean, these are teams that I feel Sion could win the Conference League at this rate. I mean, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I think Dynamo, difficult team, but like, how much are they worth? The value of their club is 20 million. Sion, the total value of their club, nearly 40 million. Sion are a powerhouse. If we go back to the tree, maybe? Is that the answer? Yeah. We can see that, I think it was Vaduz. Vaduz made it past Olympiacos, so they're helping. I don't know. Are they helping our coefficient? I guess they're not. They're probably helping the coefficient of Liechtenstein. But with that in mind, if we just flip up here to the Euro Cup, you can see there's no Dutch teams in here. There is Benfica, so we've got to be a little bit mindful of that. We go up again. There's no Dutch teams. There's no Belgian teams. Sion may have bailed us out. Go over to league. We go over to profile. We go to competition reputation. Still in ninth. That's fine. But we go to nation club coefficient. And we rank it by what it's looking like for next year. If this is to be believed, next year we will be the 6th best team for coefficient. Ahead of Holland, ahead of Belgium, ahead of Portugal, ahead of Scotland, ahead of Ukraine, ahead of Turkey, Russia, Croatia. Somehow behind Austria. I don't know what's happening in Austria. They've got coefficient points of like in the 10s and then suddenly it shoots up. So a little bit confused by that. I'm going to guess that Salzburg must be doing really well. That's the only thing I can think. Okay, yeah, so they've been making the group stages consistently. So I'm not quite sure how they've managed to get that. I guess Euro Cup first knockout round. It's all a bit baffling, but basically, we're not scared of Austria. We seem to have survived. Basel Black Stars not looking great, but as far as the coefficient is looking. Maybe it was the difficulty of our group. I don't know how coefficients work. Next year, we will have achieved one of my key objectives, which was to leapfrog all these teams. Spain, France, obviously England. We're behind England, Germany, Italy, Spain, France. But still good. My aim for the end of the save was to become the 6th most reputable league in Europe. So we may well achieve that. I don't know what that means for qualification places. If we do become 7th, then the league path will improve. Yeah, we'll just get slightly more improved qualification. Obviously, we want that juicy 6th place. Oh, come on, give it us. Give us the 6th place, because that's where we get the two group stages for the Champions League and then the one qualifying spot. So we need to rob, currently Belgium holding it, but if we go back, Belgium have had a pretty significant fall from grace. So we will see. We will see. So what have I been doing? Well, first of all, oh, Frank's on the move. You go, buddy. You go. Most people only watch this for you anyway. So you go. I thought we need to look at it and we need to say, do we have a team that can challenge for the Champions League next year? And with the consultation of Neelos Bombelos, hopefully will be in the comments of this video, we've both had a look at the save. We've got a plan for next year. This is what that plan looks like. So Santiago Ramey, as you have become familiar with, obviously that new signing Cannelloni, he's doing brilliantly. He's a leader. He loves big matches. Maybe we'll sell him because he doesn't like big matches. Maybe we'll sell him. But yeah, we've got a great partnership up here. We've been pushing Potato forward. We've put Lopez here. We've put Vlad here. And we discovered that we had a guy called Zabella, 6'6". You know, he's not amazing, but actually, as that Carolero, as the year has gone on, he's beginning to find a little bit more consistency. That's still a problem for him, but he's become quite a good option in the midfield. Now, we still need to bring in more midfielders, but Dennis Pedronis out on loan, having pretty good time at Basel. Well, I say having a good time, but Basel are dreadful generally. We'll ignore that. We've got Gatto as well, obviously, doing well. He's at Young Boys. He's setting the world alight. So he's having a fantastic time there. Then, in central midfield, I identified that as one of the reasons I thought we went out of the Champions League group. We have signed Jordi Morales. He was on loan, but we've signed him. Look at those physicals. Oh, the physicals and the mentals. Ugh, gorgeous. Signed him for 15 million from Atletico Madrid. So half the money that we got for Beef Wellington. I think he's looking good. Next to him, Barb. We've not been able to register Barb, but again, he's come in, he's learnt the language, he's developed well. So we think that Barb and Morales are the options. You saw us sign some other players at the end of the last stream for Basel Black Stars. Jasmine Music, been a pretty good rotation option for us, to be honest. If we look at the form, 6 appearances, not quite a 7, but Jasmine Music's doing really well. Was actually listed on the next gen list. We'll look at that in a bit. So definitely an option in there. We've got Jaggers on a new squad player contract. So Jaggers again just turns up, does the job. Hoffering has massively improved. Actually, some pretty big sides have wanted to sign Hofferings. We've had to make some promises to keep him. I was thinking that we were going to have this complete collapse of everybody wanting to leave. Actually, we could make the promise that we'd qualify for the Champions League, and that seemed to keep a lot of people here. We have lost Lamprey. But we've lost him to Schalke for 21 million with a 20% sell on. Actually, the physicals are sort of there, but he never quite developed into what we wanted, I don't think. He was just kicking off more and more. So we've binned off Lamprey. Peter Collar is improving. He's learnt the language. He's getting a little bit better. I think he will continue to develop. And switching this attacking midfielder, this central midfielder on attack, into a Metzala has actually improved the performances at left back. Maybe he was just a little bit too exposed on that left wing. Manzilla is wanted by Man United, but he's just signed a new contract. So we've been getting new contracts down. Melhorn, model citizen. He's been again wanted by big teams, but has committed. So I think if we can keep the core of this team, we can register this squad. I think we'll be good in Europe next year, and we of course have qualified for the Champions League. Now this is the little cheeky surprise. I had quite a lot of transfer money, didn't I, last time? And I have signed a monster. Mazzetti. This is the Ramey replacement if Ramey goes. Gosh, I can't calm myself down about this. Look at it. His physicals need to go up just a little bit. if the acceleration and the agility just go, come on, just get a little bit faster. But you can't complain much about the physicals. The jumping reach is 19. He's 6'8". His heading is 13. That could get a little bit better, of course, but the dribbling, the finishing, the first touch, he is a dream advanced forward. Whether we can register him is the question, and we probably will have to sell a big player in the summer to register some of these players. Whether that is Ramey, I don't know. Ramey is developing really well. He is a complete monster. 5-star across the board. Unfortunately, he won't sign a new contract. He has a release clause of 15 million. So, as far as I'm concerned, he can sit for the next 4 years with this transfer value of 7 million. If he signs a new contract, fine. I'll actually let him go for the value that he is worth. But yeah, I mean, he's a monster. Matteo Castillo, he's come in and been great. Like, fantastic backup there on the right. He likes the big matches, so that's also a great thing about Castillo. But if we look 7.1, obviously take it with a pinch of salt. Jacob is probably actually going to be a great player for his next season as well. Resolute, again on the next gen list. We're getting all these players. Now I'm going to go into the inbox now because I have something else to show you, which is one of our potential new signings for next year. Italo. Now, Italo, I think, is the strength in midfield that we need. The problem is, he is 28 years old and is Brazilian, which might make it slightly difficult for registration, but we've got a bid agreed for him. How much is it? I think it's 16 million. 50k is quite a lot of wage budget, but he's wanted by all the big clubs. If we look into transfer, we can see Liverpool, Leeds, Newcastle, the big teams. Yeah, I think he could be good. So let me know in the comments if you think he would be good. That's kind of why I'm recording this video now, so that I can ask you your opinions. Italiano comes in. Other players coming in, I've already discussed as well that we've got Morales. This guy, George, we scouted him. He's a potential left-back option. He's already got that 9 crossing and the 12 tackling, again on the next-gen list. He was only 200k, so we've brought him in. We're obviously looking around for other wonder kids. The board have actually given us quite a lot of wage and transfer budget, which, you know, actually they're sitting on 80 million. You would expect that. But they seem to be investing in us, that the club rep is developing. So despite the hiccup, I think it hasn't been as catastrophic as I thought it might be. I don't have any games to show you, really. It's just this. Pepperoni, I think, is probably going to go out on loan where he can get some first-team football. He's definitely lagging behind, particularly with players like Hoffering and Mazzetti coming in. I mean, even players like Iglesias are possibly more like, you know, at least on paper, better than him. Iglesias, still talked about him being a little bit hit and miss. I think that lack of consistency is disappearing. He's not consistent, but he's not inconsistent. So he comes in as a good backup option. And of course, one of our options as well, I'm not suggesting we do this, but for next season, we could do Cannelloni, Ramey, Mazzetti, and then play Potato back there. I don't think we will end up doing that. Hovering loves the big games, so we're kind of... I feel like that counts quite a lot in the Champions League. I could see a scenario where Hovering and Cannelloni maybe get swapped for some of the Champions League games, or if Cannelloni's not performing, we can bring Hovering on. But basically, in summary, pretty chuffed. We've got 3 players we need to register, 4 with a new player coming in. Beef Wellington is one of those slots. I think that Lapre leaving will be another one of those slots. We're probably going to sell Mario. Slightly frustrating I didn't sell him last summer when we were getting bids of 30-40 million. Now we're getting bids of 7, 10, 11 million. So, but yeah, he might be the other one that goes. So then we'll probably have to sell somebody else. Don't really want to sell any of the players on this screen. So I guess maybe if a big bid comes in for Iglesias, that might be the player that goes. Obviously, he's a foreign player. Blondie, there's some interest in Blondie. As good as I think Blondie is, I think maybe he will be, you know, if we do get a bid of 30 million or so from somewhere like Norwich or Bayer, I think we'll probably take that. So this is the team that we're going to hopefully use next year. But if we go to the manage, we can see some of the former teams. And This is the team that beat Juventus, and that was 2 seasons ago. We click this. Look at it. Look at it. Where's it gone? The whole team has changed. The only remaining players from that team are like Melhorn, Lopez. Lopez at that point was like a wonder kid. Slightly surprised to see Enrique there. Obviously, Pepperoni just come through the youth academy. But in terms of starters, Potato, Vlad, Mario, Reme, that was it. We lost our whole back line. We've lost our support striker, our goalkeeper. Like, we feel like we're making progress, and we are, but like, that's 2 seasons, and the whole team has changed. Interesting. I don't know who Di Maggio is, but they are obviously retired. And while we're here, we can also go back a little bit. So if we go back, we can do season 9. You go back to season 9, so that's the season before that season. You've only got Yagiz. That's it. That's the only player. So you're looking at 3 years, an entirely different first team. And what's quite fun is this 4-4-2 first impressions is the first team I built at Black Stars. So if we click that, obviously none of these players are still here, but the players that have retired, you can click on them if they're still in the match in the database. So I don't know who this is because the nicknames have been removed. But he's still here. My mum is taller. Some of us remember my mum is taller. Now a scout. Not a very good one. I don't think we can click on any of the bench players, can we? Stephen Oberel. He's had a long career in the lower leagues. Fisher. We all remember Fisher, I think. Do we? Babovic. Dino Babovic is now a scout. So I just thought that was a quirky little update for you. Adam Chick, now a manager. Maybe we should get some of these players in his youth teams. But look at that, 2019. This guy was here. These players were here when we started. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, I just thought that was quite fun and quite interesting to get a perspective of where we are. This was best in Basel, so this was, I think, when we first managed to beat Basel. Only the Stutter is still around. He's retired. Dem Hasia. Don't know who this was, but yeah. Anyway, just a little quirky thing in there. So that's it, really. I'll come back, I think, probably next season when I know the Champions League groups or with any other updates. But this is where we are really. We've had some televised friendlies as well. We've beaten Atletico Madrid in a friendly, beaten Boca, beaten Ghent. We drew with Lask, which wasn't ideal. But we're just on fire, to be honest with you. We've righted the ship, and I think we're just going to see out the end of the season, hopefully win the Swiss Cup. We've got some promises here that we're looking at. Lapre, we don't care about those being failed. Hopefully Lopez is going to be all right with it. Oh, we did sign the reincarnation of David Beckham, but we're probably going to sell him on again. He's quite good. I think he was on a free. Yeah, he was on a free. He's worth 6 million, so we're probably just going to sell him on again. But, you know, he could also squeeze his way into the team. He'll be getting a chance maybe next year, I don't know. But, yeah, registration is going to be quite difficult for him. But basically, it's looking up. I'll give you an update in the summer, another short update video in the summer, for how things have gone reputation-wise, who wins the Champions League and all that. If we win the Swiss Cup, maybe we'll come back for the Swiss Cup final. But the news is, we're on track. We're definitely doing another season. And I quite fancy our chances in the Champions League next year. Sion had a player on the next gen list. We had, I think, 4 players on the next gen list. So it's looking good. It's looking good. I hope you're enjoying this series. And we will continue to push on. When's Football Manager proper released? Maybe before the real date of Football Manager is released, we will achieve our Basel Black Stars goals. So if you enjoyed this, you want to see more videos, you want to support the channel, please do give a like, put a comment on there. I really want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited? Do you think we can do it next season? Are you surprised by anything? What do you think of some of these new players? And hopefully, I just need to keep it together. Don't get too excited. Remember how few registration slots we have. But hopefully, we'll have a sensible, level-headed transfer window. We're not, are we? but we're going to try. And then we'll come back next year and we will get a nicer Champions League group. And all will be well in the world. Thank you. Goodbye. Our star. Star hasn't fallen yet. We go again. I'll show you what's happened since our incident last episode.